Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the FN Hangout. The captain is gone this week, therefore the DEGENs and the third mates will be taking over the stream. We are joined by an excellent cast of folks here tonight. We are here to talk about the Steakhouse as well. I am joined by my excellent co-host, Nate, the Ascending Man. McGettit, how you doing, buddy?
Oh, I'm doing well. I had to turn this off real quick, but I can turn it back on to reveal the greenest of rooms. Actually, I would like to have turned the light off a little bit, to be truthful, and then it's to be really green, right? But you know, we needed a little bit of light in here. I got the family in here. It's all what it is. But no, this is a very good day, very interesting day for sure. Yeah, something about SEC. I don't know what happened there. That's some pretty crazy stuff.
Something about a giant win, the biggest of the wins.
Perfect day to stream, right?
Absolutely. True. So we are joined by the two men of the hour. First off, we have Triplet Dad 007. How you doing, sir? What are you smoking on there?
Right now, this is a Oliva Series V Maduro. Nice stick. I already smoked my Cuban today to celebrate the SEC stuff. So I can't smoke all my Cubans because there's going to be more days to celebrate. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. I'll tell you, I don't know if you guys are going to Vegas or not, but I am very much looking forward to that because we're definitely hitting a cigar lounge at some point, and we got to have the victory stogie all together.
So I've been text messaging RG to find a spot, and I don't know if this is going to conflict with any of the goings on in Vegas, but there is a fight on Saturday night, and we're looking for a place to smoke cigars and watch the UFC fight.
Oh, shoot, what UFC event is it? 313?
313.
We got we got Pereira versus Ankalaev. Oh, that's gonna be a banger.
It's gonna be a banger. And the first thing I said that Vets and Crypto said to me is that gonna be in Vegas? So he's looking for tickets or something, right? Yeah. But thanks for the introduction. I appreciate it, buddy.
Absolutely. And we have the other man of the hour, Hextrovert. How you doing, buddy?
Hey guys, nice to meet you. Sorry, I'm only got an avatar today. I'm actually out at my daughter's netball, and when Trip hit me up to say, "Hey, we can go on DS on this exciting day," I said I want to do it, but I'm going to be out. So I said I'll just make it happen from my phone. So hopefully the sound is good enough. And it is a glorious day for the community in RH, and it's probably important to note that the judge dismissed the case. It wasn't just because of the change in administration.
That it was. I actually just got done with previous stream. I was on there with my co-host Will Stevenson. We read the entire motion to dismiss. Thankfully, this one was only 31 pages. We did all of the other documents previously, and those took us like 5 hours to get through. So thankfully, this one only took like half an hour, 45 minutes ish. But yes, the motion to dismiss was great. The TLDR for the motion to dismiss, by the way, is the SEC failed to claim jurisdiction. Because they failed to claim jurisdiction, they could not apply securities law, and they could not apply fraud through the securities laws to Richard Hart. The little unfortunate thing at the end is that the SEC does have 20 days to amend the original complaint. But at the same time, though, given current conditions based on the leadership of the SEC and what they've been putting out, I think they're going to say this is no longer worth the squeeze. So
I'll take another little pump in 20 days.
Hey, that's true. That's true. I did see a tweet earlier. Somebody was saying that they were dissatisfied with the pump that we've had so far. But I will say, remember that when XRP had their most recent court win, they pumped 6x over the course of 28 days. So it might be a patience thing. It might be a few other things. But as it stands right now, I think a lot of the stars are lining up. And Hexol just literally pointed out that NASA said 7 of the planets are aligning right now. So
yeah.
Look, if you're
the XRP guys had over the last 5 years a series of wins, and they never went above 70 cents, right? In some of those cases. So this is great news. I'm completely satisfied with the pump. I think a lot of the money that's stuck on the bridge will make this pump go even stronger. I think it's awesome.
Absolutely. By the way, gentlemen, before we turn the floor over to you and start from the beginning, so to speak, I do want to give some shout outs to the folks out in the audience. So, Mrs. Producer, if you don't mind, let's pull up some of the comments and see who's in the chat hanging out with us tonight. First, we got Magic Carpet Ride with the MCR 369, like the logo. Saying
That's
first,
nice.
Winky Face. Foxy got second. And then M-Rock Jockey coming in third. He's looking at the phone. I guess we're mobile viewing tonight.
Nice.
After that, we got Fast Abdul. He says, if this is the tech, I am here for it. Gentlemen, do you happen to know this individual?
He always says he wants to fight me. So we're gonna hit it. We're gonna hit a gym. I think when we go to Vegas.
That's gonna be great. I know. Oh shoot, what is Fast Abdul? I want to say he's either a blue or purple belt for jiu-jitsu. I can't remember which
he
one.
is in jiu-jitsu, so I'm just joking. Fast Abdul, I'm not doing
okay. Fair enough. We got Thoughtchild, frequent of the FN Hangout, says MCR shut up. Might have time to sneak a project on with today's not at all news. Hey, we do what we can. If you guys want to talk about it, we can. But first up, we got to give the gentleman their due. So
we completely expected this show today. I thought we were going to be bounced to like a couple of weeks because we were going to be in Vegas next week, right? And with the news that came out today, I completely expected this show to be 110% SEC stuff. So we are here to explain our protocol, right? And we'll do so. But at the same time, have at it with SEC news.
For sure. All right. Yeah. We'll cover you guys' stuff. Absolutely. You guys were scheduled. Want to give you your due, not just kick you out for no reason. But then let's try to get some folks on towards the second half of the show and see how hyped the community is, which I imagine they are
100%.
very, very hyped. By the way, Funkmaster Hex, see you over there, good sir. He says, ladies and gentlemen, good evening with the classic drink emoji. Good to see you, my man.
Good evening.
Ted Nelson, it's a wonderful day in the neighborhood. Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
It's one of my buddies.
Hey, glad to have him here then. We got Sandip, says, first, they will ignore you. Then they will laugh at you. Then they will fight you. Then you will win. Baby, we are winning right now. I gotta say, we're winning. That's what this is.
100%.
What we cooking in the Steakhouse? Hopefully some Hex. Congrats, everyone. Congratulations. That's right. Congrats to everybody sticking around this long. It was long. Wasn't easy. But we won. The Trinity is God with the praying emoji. There you go.
Is that praying or is that thank you? It's
I don't know. It could be either.
It could be anything. You know, it's basically kind of like it's just like this. You know, so like thank you very much, or like
I think it might be a namaste. Then.
You know, we are together. We are one. You know,
all
love.
Right. Just checking.
True. Give me liberty or give me Hex. He says, so what's the good news? That we have a boss in the White House, or is there even better news? There is even better news, especially if you're a Hexican, and that name says you're a Hexican. So
yes.
Jay Everything, 100% rock on. Yeah. DB with the diamond hands going to the moon. That's right. That's where they go, baby. RH is the GOAT. Thank you, Fox Mulder. Good to see you as always.
Fox.
Crypto Compassion. He says, I like my crypto cult fold send. We got some good cults over here, I gotta say.
He and I are in the same cult.
Hey, love to hear it. One True Texan. Let's go, Richard Hart Win. There's a reason Win is at the end of that name, by the way. And we got Hexi Pulse Rica. Hello, with the dabbing on us. Dang. Okay.
Nice.
Okay.
We Ty and I have known her for 10 years.
Very
or not
cool.
10 years, 5 years. I mean, sorry. 10
Ash, you good. Thank you, everyone. Yes. Mexican Lost in Asia. Congrats, everyone. Good to see you, buddy. Hope you're doing well. The name does not lie. He is in a different time zone, so glad you could catch it. I think it's early morning for you, but it should be a good morning for you with all this news. And last but not least, we got Crypto 8 LFG party time. Indeed. Party time's next week, actually, in Vegas. I imagine that's going to get pretty wild if I remember last year. Yep. See you all in Vegas. See you there, sir. Alrighty. We've met everyone for the evening. We've covered the news. Except for Meltoni. Good evening, fellow Hexicans. Good to see you, Meltoni. Kit was not going to miss you. All right. Let's get after it. Triplet Dad, sir,
All right.
I understand you have a protocol you would like to talk about tonight. For the folks at home,
and
what do we got?
For the folks at home and you guys, right? I don't think you're very familiar with Magic Carpet Ride. So just to let you know how Ty and I started out, we started out putting together, enabling people to pool their sacrifices to PulseX, liquid loans, 9-inch, all that stuff, right? Enabled people to get bigger bags than they would have before, right? We were the 21st wallet in PulseX. We were the #1 wallet with liquid loans. We were the #2 wallet with 9-inch. So we had, over the course of since the PulseX sacrifice to now, probably about $27 million go through pools that we helped run, and all those funds ended up where they were supposed to go. Okay, so that's us in a nutshell. So people that were in the PulseX pool had a 2.14 multiplier, right? So they were right around the
2.1 on PulseX, 2.235 on
they're right
LL.
around
We
the
also,
corner from being even right now, right? Because they had a 2x multiplier. So if that PulseX price starts with a 5, they have made their money back. So that's pretty cool. Then we started doing some projects, right? We have a front end for liquid loans. We started releasing projects in kind of a backwards order, because there's some of the projects that we have that were easy and some that were more difficult, but they're all basically built on supporting the more difficult dApps that we're releasing. And today we're going to go over Steakhouse, right? So we have a Magic Carpet Ride buffet where you stake Magic Carpet Ride, and that gives you yield from all of our dApps. And then we have OTC, the Bistro, 0x Bistro, and that's going to enable you to sell tokenized hex stakes, okay? Which is what we're going to talk about today. So things that have low liquidity, or things that you want to get out of your bag without much slippage and that sort of thing, you could just put it on the OTC and let people nibble away at it, or they could take it down 100% one go, right? So that's 0x Bistro, and that's
it's a custom built OTC as well, and we just relaunched the new UI UX today, and it'll also be coming out on Ethereum any day soon as well. But it's very unique OTC. It's not a fork of anything.
Yeah, that is true. And by the way, this shirt, the story behind this shirt is I would wear this when the sacrifices were starting or ending. People who used to watch Magic Carpet Ride, we have 5,000 subs, I believe, or somewhere around there, right? They used to watch us, and we used to do live streams and live TGs going, and we would be money would be going into the sacrifice, and we'd be live streaming, and it was good times. But I would wear the shirt. So I broke out this for the SEC thing today, and of course, this is Discourse Syndicate. So pretty cool. Let me see if I could share a screen here. Share a screen.
Mrs. Producer should be able to hook you up.
Sure. Are you guys able to see it?
Yes, sir.
All right.
So this is the Steakhouse.
This is a 0x Steakhouse. Okay. So what Steakhouse is? It's a way for people to pool their stakes. So you could choose an ending date of, let's say you go take a look at Hex Scout if you're smart and you find a gap in the yield, or when people are coming unstaked, right? Pick that day. You could open up a stake that's going to end on that day, and then you could leave that open for a number of days for people to join in with you, right? So just like our pools, we always felt that if people were able to put their money together, they would be getting the same rate as the whales out there that are staking 40 million hex at a time, right? So we're all about bigger pays better bonus. So that's what we're doing on a daily basis. We're also about, if the ETH fees get high enough, again, which we believe they will, right? These stakes, when they end, the gas is split amongst the participants within the pool, which is pretty cool. And we'll go over how that works. So, do you have anything to add to that, Ty?
Well, we can go into more details, but yeah, the enrollment period's like 1 hour, and then a tip of a hat to RH to 369 hours, which is just over 2 weeks.
So let's go over that. So this is Steakhouse, and if we went into create pool, you can drag this stake duration all the way out to 5555. You can bring it on back. I know the last pool that Fast Abdul set, he was trying to do it for 69 days. So I'm going to drag it back to 72, use little arrow buttons to get to 69 and tribute for Fast Abdul. Okay. Enrollment period, you could go 369 hours all the way to 1 hour. Usually people are doing like about a week, right? So 7 days, 48 hours, whatever you guys would like to do. It's up to you. It's completely customizable. There's some groups out there that are starting to look at this as putting together ladders. So like the No Permissions group with Randy Hilarski, those guys are looking at doing a monthly stake and building a hex ladder on both ETH and PulseChain, right? So every month they're going to have a stake that's open to be joined possibly for 30 days, so you can join it, and on the 30th day people that stake goes live and we pick a new date somewhere out in the future, right? So probably going to work right now. Most of our stakes are close because people are trying to determine how this works, right? And they don't want to park a 555 out there and figure out how it works 15 years in the future. So right now we have 30-day stakes, 70-day stakes. People are just trying to figure out how the starting works and how the claiming part works. So when you set your enrollment out, you can, let's just say we're going to do this one for 48 hours. And then creator fees. There's a lot of things out there that have huge creator fees. That's not our jam. We didn't charge a fee for being in any of our pools, right? So this is a 1% max fee. And that's for people like Vets in Crypto that wants to run stakes as a group for some of his veterans causes or football, baseball teams, that sort of thing. Maybe even some football with an FU over the pond, right? Soccer, possibly. I don't know about that. We're probably going to drop it if they want to do soccer, but we'll raise it if they want to do regular American football.
Bring it up if they maybe throw a rugby club in there too.
Yeah, that's better. That's better. But that's the gist of it. And you create it, and then people are joining, right? It's that simple. So if we wanted to do this one right here, I'm going to start this one, and then see if we can all join it. Oh, I can't.
Make sure you have, if you're going to start one.
I'm actually not going to start one because my microphone and my camera are taking up my USB slots. So there's that. We will start one after this. So that is it in a nutshell on how you start a stake. Now, if we go into pools, we don't really want everybody going out and starting stakes, right? We would like people to come into the pool section and find stakes that are at or around the date they would like to stake on. So if this one was still open, it makes much more sense, instead of starting another 70-day pool, to go into this one because there's already 150,000 head start on the bigger pace better bonus. This was our inaugural pool, so people came in here and deposited 7.3 million worth of worth of hex in our first pool. There's a lot of people that know us and trust us, so they knew that this was a pretty cool thing, and they wanted to be involved in the very first one that was public. These two on the bottom were test ones that Ty and I did on mainnet, but these are that's the gist of this protocol. Anything that
I'd like to add some stuff. Open the pool we created.
Okay.
And then just so people know, when you scroll down, there's some metrics there, obviously, and some timing. And every day, the hex amount, the hedron amount updates daily, once a day, how much the pool's accumulated. Below that, there's the creator fee. So you can see if there's a fee in the pool. And then below that is the pool address, if you scroll down, which is hyperlinked to HexScout, so you can see the performance of the pool, okay? You can also see whoever started the stake, the address, the end of the stake, because there is some game theory in the end stake. Like there's rewards in game theory for incentivization for people to hit the end stake button. We have
And by
everything
the way,
detailed
just
in our
to add
Gitbook.
on that this 305 wallet was the sacrifice MCR wallet when people when we had our SAC open for our MCR token, and we have saved all of our hex that was donated to that pool, and we're using it within StakeHouse on ETH and StakeHouse on Pulse to boost people's pools that we're going to be joining them as time goes on.
Very nice. Gentlemen, if you don't mind me interjecting a question here. I see you have hedron amount. Can you explain what that is?
Go ahead, Kai.
Well, when Alex released Hedron, he worked it. Obviously, it works in unison with Hex, and so you get rewarded for staking Hex, and you earn Hedron for free.
Are the hedron rewards distributed to the people in the pool?
Correct.
Oh wow, nice.
Okay, so does that mean that these are built on HSIs?
They're not HSIs at all. So let's talk about that a little bit. So
okay,
you don't have to have HSIs to earn hedron on your stake. You only need HSIs to borrow hedron from existing stakes, right? So if you did a native stake on Hex, and then you ended that stake on the on many front ends out there, but one of Alex's, right? And you claim your hedron first, then you end your stake. A lot of people make that mistake of doing those in reverse order and not getting their hedron, right? But this is collecting the hedron. 20% of the hedron collected is going to MCR stakers, right? But the other 80% is distributed amongst the people in the pool.
Very nice. Do you guys have any more integration with the other hex-based tokens, like Icosa or Communis?
The only one out there that would be decent would be Communis, right? But that only really pays if you're going out far, right? That's how that one pays. So that's too complicated to put into this. This is very, very simple, right? I put a bunch of hex in. I put 10,000 hex in here. I'm going to get 10,000 tokens for that pool. I could take those tokens. I can move them to my wallet, to a different wallet. If I think that this wallet is getting a little funky and I've signed some transactions that I don't want to, I could go throw them someplace else. I could take those tokens and put, if the hex price is pumping, I could put those onto our OTC and sell them during the pump.
Okay, very nice.
Yeah. There's no EES within this protocol. Those tokens are those tokens until this stake ends. So that's also cool. So nothing's ever coming out of here. There's never going to be no hex from this protocol whatsoever is ever touching the OA. He's not getting any of it at all. So if there's no EES, if you want to get out, you got to sell your tokens on our OTC. And the reason why we created the OTC is probably, let's just say this is our biggest one right now. 7.3 million is not enough money to start an LP, a pool with, right? So getting in and out of the 7.2 million is going to be rough. So that's why we created the OTC, was to support this. So you could put those tokens on there, cash out. When it comes to end staking, let's just say Ty hits the end stake button and he pays for the end stake. As other people end stake, Ty gets paid back as they claim. Okay. If I completely space that I have a stake within StakeHouse, and I let the thing go into the bleed mode, just like on normal hex stakes, right? And it starts bleeding out, and that money goes to stakers and the OA. That money here, because Ty already claimed it, is going to the people within this protocol as well as MCR stakers. And the person who clicked the unstake button also gets some of the bleed only.
So when making a stake, then when it comes to this is multiple people kind of like pooling together for one very large stake. Am I correct about that?
Correct.
Okay, excellent. So then from there, once the stake is made, everybody who has pooled in, it's just going to be there. You can't add to it or anything, correct?
Correct. The only crazy thing is let's say we had this stake here for 7.2 and it hadn't started cooking yet, right? Ordering is when it's still available to add to it. Cooking means that that stake is live and in the process of serving its term, right? If somebody else, like if a whale came in here and said, you know what, I'm going to compete with this 7.2 million pool, and I'm going to throw a 40 million pool out there. As long as this stake hasn't gone live, you can remove your tokens, get your hex back, and go into his pool.
And then is the distribution of the tokens after the stake is done, is that done via percentage of how much you originally put in with the pool?
Correct.
Okay. Yeah, that's good. That's good, because one of the issues that could end up happening with this is, say you have a whale that comes in with 40 million and then you pop in with like 10,000. And then if it's like evenly distributed, it's like you gained way more.
No, it's just like an LP. Everything's done for your percentage of the pool. And that can change because you might sell some of your tokenized tokens on the OTC. So when it does mature, maybe you sold 50% of them. So now your share of that pool is 50% less. One thing that when Trip was talking about, some people might want to sell a position in a pool. There's also people that might want to buy a position. So we tried to create social stickiness as well. Get on Twitter, get on Spaces, try and create a group in your own pools if you've got your own community. Or if someone's looking to get in a pool that they're attracted to, maybe they just put the feelers out and say, hey, anyone want to sell any tokens for this pool? I want to buy them, and then they can do that. Everything's trustlessly via the OTC, no admin fees.
Yeah. And the nice thing about a protocol that's like this is it's kind of the same sort of deal as like what's happening with 2Fucks, right? Where if you're not a big player, you really can't get enough shares to be able to say, hey, I want this specific pool. I want to vote for this specific pool to have the higher APRs, right? Well, in something like 2Fucks, you're able to kind of group together. So that way there's a mass amount of people who are, little fish, not exactly whales, and they can kind of become a whale themselves and then therefore have good votes. This sort of, I see the same sort of deal happening here where it's like, hey, I really can't get too many T shares. Maybe I can only get one, whatever, right? But if you group together, you can become a whale yourself. And I know you may not have 40 million hex to stake, but if you get into a group, maybe the group has 40 million hex, and now you've got a bunch of T shares. And thanks to our leader, our great leader in the OA, the T shares have gone up just a little bit, a little tiny bit, like this much, right? And so they've gotten quite a bit more expensive, and they're only going to be getting more expensive. So something like this is absolutely vital when it does come to like newer people coming into the hex space and saying, hey, I want a T share too. How can I get more T shares?
And on top of that,
I think a good measurement for people.
Go ahead, Ty.
I was going to say a good measurement for people to aim in pools is also every 15 million units of hex in a pool adds 1% to the bigger pays better. That's different to the longer pays better. That obviously changes depending on how long the stake goes out for, but the bigger pays better. So if we get 30 million, that's 2%. Everyone's getting that 2%, 2% of their share of the pool, right? And so you get to 45 million, 3%, and it maxes out at 150 million, which is 10%. So over time, our aim is to, as people see this working as intended, is to just keep pooling and getting this up to hopefully one of those maxed out bigger pays better, where everyone's getting that 10% bonus, which is more crucial now than ever considering the inflation rate has been cut.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. For for the time being, the OA has put a lot of hex in play within the staking mechanisms, right? So this enables people to pool their hex together and regain some of that yield that might be gone now had you not a bag of 150 million hex to stake, right? So that's what our goal is. It's kind of coming at a perfect time. We were kind of bummed when he did that, right? But if you look at it from a different point of view, this is there to help you get that yield back.
And so,
and we're future proofing, as Trip said before. Like if Ethereum gets expensive again, which it could, we're going to share the gas. Now, if PulseChain gets adoption in the future, maybe there'll be a time where the gas is expensive here too, unless RH and his dev team make some changes. But there could be a period where it's expensive on PulseChain too. We've already witnessed some spikes, but I mean, maybe in another year or 2 years, we get the adoption we're hoping for. Gas is going to go up as pulse price goes up. So we have future proof. This DApp does future proof the gas issue regardless what happens.
And so, because this protocol is built on the native hex stakes, right?
Correct.
Now, obviously, hex is immutable, and therefore you can't change it. So this is technically a third-party protocol that is built on top. Now, because this is third-party, and there's a lot of groups, a grouping of people, a lot of different wallets going on, a lot of different moving pieces. Are you worried about possibly somebody finding an exploit and perhaps stealing or just exploiting the protocol itself? What measures have you taken to try and prevent any of this from happening and providing security for everyone?
When that stake goes live,
think of it like an LP. Like once everyone pulls into a stake and the stake goes live, that hex is sent to the hex staking contract. It's burnt and gone. So there's nothing actually in our protocol until it comes back out and people come to collect it. And we've just gone through what we would expect any legitimate team to go through: audits. We've done months and months and months of testing, our own testing, audits, and that's all in our Git book. Everything we bring out has been audited. So we
been on
do our
test
utmost
net
best
for probably 4 months, right?
Make sure it's as safe as possible. But like any smart contract, there's no guarantees. But it has been audited. It wasn't just trust me, bro.
That's good. Audits are absolutely vital when it does come to like these third parties, because especially when you got a lot of different moving pieces to it. So yeah, no, it's definitely good. Where do you have the documents?
I wouldn't just say third parties. I would say it should be the standard to get independent audits on anything that is not a meme coin. If it's just a meme coin, but anything that's DeFi, the industry standard should be to get an audit at least.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I think I'm on my phone, so it's a bit hard to see. But I think if you go back to the homepage,
okay.
I think there's a link in that description, or maybe it's on the pool page where it takes you to our Git book. In the top message, it's either on the dashboard or it's in the pool page where I think it's the pool page. Maybe is an easy way to. It'll say when you get there, go to a pool. We have this in our LinkedIn and in various places, and on our up the top. See there at the end of the statement. Click here for more details. I think is it. I'm just going off memory because I can't see.
Are you guys able to see that?
We're still looking at the pool number 6.
All right. Yeah.
Yep. There should be a link at the end of the statement. No. There you go.
There you go. Yep.
And that's where all of our DApps are, and that's where all of our audits are, and all the how-tos. So if you went to the DApp documents, Steakhouse, you'll get detailed info on how the whole protocol works.
And what Ty said is extremely important, right? So if you think about what he said, our audit is there safeguarding the time in which the pool is open for participation. So if we put 48 hours or a week or 30 days, it's safeguarding that hex that's in that getting ready to be placed in the pool for 30 days or 48 hours, right? And then that hex goes off, and it's in Richard Hart's contract. It's not in ours anymore, right? So there's no way to get it. There's no way to EES it. Then there's the hex comes back when somebody ends the stake, and our audits are there to safeguard that hex is safe while people are claiming. That's it.
And you said that there was some kind of fee, though. Now, I think I may have passed over that one, not quite heard it. But when you do end the stakes, obviously the percentage goes out to however much you put in. But does this protocol take a fee out of that?
No.
Well, it's not no. That's not actually correct. So a creator can create a fee, okay? If you go to create a pool, if we had a pool open, if you were to join a pool, everyone who joins a pool, there's another tip of the hat to RH 3690 Gwei, which is like, I think the other day, it was like 2 pulse. So everyone who joins the pool, it goes on the gas, and at the moment it's like 2 pulse. What happens to that pulse when the stake starts? All that pulse, whatever it could be, if there's 10 people, it's going to be about 20 pulse, not a lot. All that pulse goes to the MCR stakers. So not to us or the protocol. Everything we've built goes to the MCR stakers.
So the protocol only gets paid if we have our MCR tokens staked. And that kind of has some game theory in it too. So we have a bunch of MCR tokens, of course, because we created them. But a lot of people have a ton of tokens. But just so you know, where you claim these tokens, the Hedron and the Pulse and the other tokens that come out of Bistro and some of the other dApps we have, that's going to be duplicated on ETH. So our MCR token on PulseChain has already been bridged over to Ethereum. So you're going to have to decide what your ratio is for not unlike 2FUCks, right? Where you need to decide where you want to place your votes. Here you need to place where you want your MCR tokens to get your yield, whether you want them on ETH or whether you want them on PulseChain.
Yeah, and I did notice that actually. So you guys are actually on ETH and on Pulse currently.
This thing was built for ETH, right? Because when we started building this, people were paying $400 to unstake a year-long stake, right? So this was built specifically to combat that, and it just so happens it helps with other things besides just that.
That sounds fantastic. Wait, so how specifically does it help out with the gas again?
So if stake, let's say that we're in this pool right here, right? When this comes due and it says served, which means that the time is has gone through 100%, there'll be a little in stake button here, right? So if Ty clicks that in stake button, he will end the stake and he'll pay for the gas for everybody, right? So everybody's hex comes out into the StakeHouse protocol. Now, when I go to claim my hex, the fee that I pay goes to Ty. And the fee that you pay goes to Ty because he paid for all of us.
Yeah, so it creates a smart contract for the person who ends the stake. They become the reimburser wallet. So if I'm the Good Samaritan and I pay, like, let's say it's $1,000, then everyone who comes back to get their hex has to pay their share based on units of hex. So it can't be gamed. We did it this way to make sure there's no game in the system.
Okay, so correct me if I'm wrong here, but two of the fundamentals here is one, you get more, it's more efficient because if everyone tried to stake their hex independently, everyone would have to pay the gas fee, and the gas fee is based on the amount of days for the calculations you have to do. But because it's all conglomerated into a single stake, it's only one gas fee instead of everyone doing gas fees. And correct. Additionally, because you have the bigger pays better bonus, it also helps incentivize a little extra that you would not be able to get on your own.
100% correct.
I like it. Excellent. So, gentlemen, question for you.
And then we wanted to be like the socialness, whether it's Discourse Syndicate, make a pool and say, hey, we're doing our own rolling stake pool, come join it. Like, it was made as well, like to create that social stickiness on top of a product we believe in, where community can come together, family, friends, community, and say, we're doing this, feel free to join, but you can all do it trustlessly. It's not, there's no trust me, bro. You can just all do it. You know,
like Papa B was famous for his ladders, right? If you had somebody like that, or Randy Hilarski's No Permissions group, or Discourse Syndicate. Hey, everybody, Discourse Syndicate's doing a staking ladder. We're going to put, we're going to start at a year. We're going to go to 5 years, and these things are all going to go live on the 15th of every month, right? It's just like Ty said, we're bringing the social part back to Hex, because Hexicans were a lot easier to be around when they were all getting along, and this is bringing that back together, I believe. Yeah,
I could see that. One thing I kind of worry about, and maybe you can clarify for me,
sure.
is if you have one person who creates a pool and everybody goes into that pool, is it only that one person that's able to end the stake? Or can anybody?
No,
it's all public. It's all public functions. So no one has to trust anyone to start the stake, end the stake.
You don't even have to be a
play.
part of this stake. You could be a guy off of the street who wants to end stakes and see if he can get yield by ending people's stake and getting people's hex that they don't claim. Right? You could be any Joe Blow. You don't even have to have a token within that pool to end the stake.
Interesting. Okay. Tell you what.
So the bleed out on the hex side when the stake matures, it's 7 days, right? So it comes back into the smart contract. The timer starts at 7 days from when it ended the hex native date, the timestamp on the hex contract. 7 days you get to come back, and then after that it bleeds at 1% a day to the rest of the pool and to the MCR stakers.
I like it. Tell you what, I'm going to give a quick reminder to our audience real quick. We are going to keep this conversation going for a little bit longer, but at the top of the hour, we're going to go ahead and open up the green room to anybody that wants to join. And later on, we're going to shift over to the Richard Hart SEC stuff talking about it. So go ahead and start getting ready. I believe the StreamYard link is down in the description, and our fantastic producer will get you guys set up in the green room while we get ready for you guys. Outside of that, though, I do have some questions for you guys. What inspired you guys to make this kind of stuff? And then what are some goals, or are there any other roadmap items that you want to hit in the future?
So I'll go over mine, then Ty can do his, right? I wasn't a day one Hexican, right? I'm a day 601 Hexican. So I always have been feeling like I've been playing catch up with those who are deep into this and have bags of hex like I have bags of pulse and pulse hex, right? So I have always wanted to put something out there that would help me increase my bags as well as alleviate some of the issues. And having had experience of putting the pools together where we're getting people over 2x on their bags of pulse hex, over 2x on their bags of loan, over 2x on their bags of 9-inch.
Internet money, the list goes on. We did
we did a ton of them, right? With people, those guys had a 50% cushion on everybody else that went on their own, unless you are a whale. Those whales are the ones who are able to buy and sell at what you think would be a loss, but they're making money. Well, we were making money too. So that is what I wanted to get to. And I wanted to give everybody a taste of what it's like to get a 2-point-something multiplier in hex staking, in sacrificing, all of that. And I think we achieved it.
I would
Very
agree.
cool.
It's something that is very important. And, you know, I think the most vital thing that you said there is you're always you feel like you're always playing catch up. I would agree with you. You know, me and Z, we're kind of in the same position. We're not exactly day one, right?
Right.
And so it's like, all right, we didn't get to have T-shares when they were a penny, right? We got 2 chairs when they're $100 each, right? So for us, it's a little bit different. Now this comes into the idea, the same sort of thing as, say, again with 2 fucks, right? If you don't have, $1 million to spend on something, well, you're going to be kind of falling behind as far as the votes go. In this particular case, you're not going to have as many T-shares. But if you gather everyone together, we sort of group together and gather as many T-shares as possible. While, as Zenith very expertly noted, it also means that the gas fee itself is going to be a lot less too. And since we're doing this on PulseChain, which is also very much less gas fees, it's a really good idea. And it's also absolutely going to be vitally helpful when it comes to Ethereum, because Ethereum, as we all know, have some gas price issues. So yeah, no, this seems like a pretty good protocol as far as grouping goes and helping people catch up, right?
I appreciate it. Thanks.
We also have a link, I think, on the left there to Bistro, which is where you would take your pooled tokens, which are unique to every pool, right? So if you're in pool 3, the contract creates a token called SH Pool 3, and SH3 is the token. And you would go to Bistro, which we've just relaunched the new front end today. It looks beautiful with a lot of filtering and features. And we didn't want to go over this today. Thank you, bring it up to show the audience, but more just, this is where you'll see our user's pool token. We've got a cool logo that'll come out on here. It's just about getting put into the repo. And we might just throw a couple of pool tokens in here so people can see the logo and see how to identify that it's legit.
Here's an arbitrage opportunity right now. There's some Mafia up here that's worth $16 for $15.
Plus, I think it has 10% slippage on that token tax. So
about
if you go through,
that's
so you go through the pool, so you go through
the
NLP, but you won't pay any tax getting it here.
And by the way, this is no fees swapping on this OTC. The seller pays a 1% fee for listing their stuff, and if they have a golden bean or bean tokens, they could stake those, and that 1% fee is cut down to 0.5%.
Yeah, and buyers, as TV said, buyers have no fees. But yeah, we've got some other things on our roadmap. Nothing that we've really communicated. We've got something that we hopefully won't be too far away for PulseChain. There's no sacrifice. There's no need for a token at the start. Maybe there'll be one in the future, but there won't be any sales or anything like that. But it is a service that we're bringing that other builders and teams, not only in our community but on other chains, will allow them to come here with casinos and games and whatnot. So we're just building dependencies to the chain.
So coming up, is that the barista?
Nope. No, it's not out. We haven't announced anything. It's a cool name. We'll have a cool logo.
Oh, okay.
Barista is built on top of liquid loans, but the stability pool is forked from the protocol from Ethereum, which has been running flawlessly for 3 years over there. So we've just forked that and added that as a complementary thing to liquid loans. That for people who want to set it and forget it in the stability pool. So yeah, what I was talking about, this software as a service thing we're bringing out is we haven't told anyone. Maybe a couple of builders that are building things that may be interested in using these things.
Sounds fun. About how long would you say on the roadmap until you get that built out, or maybe get some sort of news out for people?
Well, I think we're going to start marketing it soon, right, Trip? We're probably just working on the logo. We've actually got it on a web page now, proof of concept, verifiable. So people can, when we do want to show them, they can verify that it does what it says it does, especially for builders that want to build certain protocols on PulseChain. They can say, yep, this actually works. This is awesome. Can't give away too much just yet because it is a very competitive space, but I think we will have the first mover advantage because no one's solved this for PulseChain yet. And like I said, the proof of concept's done, the codes are done. We've got to just go through testing. So we do private testing, we do public testing, and auditing.
Very, very cryptic, you guys. Very cryptic.
Hey, we understand how the game works. Can't give away all the secrets until it's out.
It'll be another stream with another tuxedo shirt. I tell you that. All right.
Love to hear it.
All right.
All right, gentlemen. Any final words on the project you would like to share with the good folks?
No, I gave my final spiel on it. I really appreciate you guys and talking to RG3 and having him ping you guys and having us come on. I really appreciate you guys filling in for him while he's out gallivanting around the world, right? Leaving us at our homes in front of our computers and cameras. So I just appreciate it. Thanks for your time.
Absolutely.
I'd like to just say thanks for having us on and giving us the opportunity with having some new stuff come out to show you guys and the audience. We actually did when we were going through the concept of all this, we actually did a show with Kinetics way back in 23, believe it or not. So yeah, but all I'd like to say is for all the people who have steadfast and believed in RH and the ecosystem, it's been a pretty brutal time. So if you're still here and you're still holding your coins, I feel like the tide is shifting now, and I think we're going to be rewarded. And today was a great day. So hopefully the fighting stops and we start to come together and actually promote the amazing ecosystem we have and the community we have.
Absolutely. Keep building, guys. That's what I see. That's one of the most vital things about PulseChain, right? Is builders like you actually building these protocols that help people out, that will make people money. These are things that we all need to take a step back and look at when we are in these moments of red candles, which red candles are nothing more than feelings, right? It's bad feelings. It's feelings going down and a little depressive. Well, that's okay, because just take a step back, look at what is being built out, and you can say, hey, this is actually special over here. Maybe I should stick with it. Maybe I should support it.
Probably one of the beauties of all of our dApps is we don't have a token that is required to use them. People can just come and use these dApps. Our token that we've created, MCR, was for people who believe in what we're doing, that want to buy that token and stake it and get rewarded in yield from the dApps we built, and all the yield 100%. There's no taking a snippet off it on the way through. It all just goes to the stakers, which they can see on that beautiful dApp. They can see what's been distributed, what's going to be distributed in the future based on chain. So yeah, my point is people can just go use our dApps without needing a token from us. So,
and Zenith, Ascending Man, between both of you guys, since you guys brought us on, I'm going to let you guys pick the length of stake that I put up tonight, and I'll make it the Discourse Syndicate stake. Make it maybe a little bit short, just so people can get in and hop in and see how things work, and then hop out, and then pick a longer one in the future. But I'm going to let you guys pick it.
What are you thinking? 7 days a week or 30 days a month? I like that monthly, man. It's like the month paycheck. I don't know, man. I kind of like 30 days.
Is that too short?
I don't know. I don't know, man. I really like 30 days. Making a staking ladder like that. This is the DEGEN. This is the DEGEN staking ladder, so we should probably just make it every day.
I don't know if that's going to work the way you want it to.
Right.
If you want to promote it too, I would suggest thinking about the enrollment period. I think we did ours for 4 days, and then we just went out and told people, right, when it was brand new. Obviously, you guys have got an audience, you've got streams, so you've probably got a bit of leverage to get fellow members. But give yourself, a few days to
give you guys a week to filter funnel people in and pick the length.
Okay, so I can tell you right now,
4 days intro time is probably about right. Maybe 4 or 5, somewhere in there.
Okay. All right.
Intro time, that's getting people in. I would say a week on that, because that way we've got like a full week of shows. So 7 days on that, and then bring it out to March, April, to 60 days.
60 days it is.
I like it.
Deal. All right, guys, let's talk about SEC. I appreciate your time on Steakhouse.
Calculated.
Yeah,
absolutely. Real quick though.
Just to be clear, that enrollment period trip is 168 hours.
Yeah, 168 hours it is.
All right, cool.
Before we get to the meat and potatoes here, want to give a little more time for folks to join in, turn on the webcams, get the mics fired up. I believe our excellent producer has posted the StreamYard link in the description down below. You don't have to come on camera, just so you know, but in the green room, we do ask that you do at least turn on the camera at least slightly so we can verify that you're not going to come on stream and pull out your ding dong or anything, but you know, that's the usual standard. Outside of that, though, we do have some chats that have stacked up. So, Mrs. Producer, if you don't mind running through those real quick, we always want to say hello to the folks out in the audience. Good friend of ours, Brown Farmer Jay. Good to see you, buddy. He's giving us the OK diver signal. We also got MT Coiner with the triple rock on. Good to see you, buddy. Another good friend of ours and IRL friend as well, Moonpill the Rational Optics. He says, "What's going on, gentlemen? Good to see you." There's a lot of good things going on tonight. We are about to get to that. Jay Everything is giving a good salute to Melv Tony. By the way, he's been posting some great data. He always does that during the streams, which I really appreciate. It also kind of helps put a little bit of a time capsule on it, so you know exactly what the price was when we were talking about it. So much appreciated. He also had some good T-share data. That T-share rate is it's going up, folks. Don't sleep on it.
There's a reason why I staked out all of my hex all the way out to the end of the year, because as soon as I knew that the OA did that, I was like, oh boy, T-shares are gonna go way up.
Yeah, T-shares always going up, and the OA is making it go up faster. We got a DB Cooper as well with the trophy. It's a trophy day, folks. It definitely is. We got Clintrons as well. It says, "Good day, DEGENs. Fun times. Always fun times around here. Again, especially today." Just Live getting in here as well. He says, "Part of the issue I have is confidence on how stuff works. So trying to explain it to a friend when I haven't done it, it is rough." I hear you. But I think we got good cast of folks tonight. Hopefully we broke it down enough that you can explain the benefits and the reasons why to do these things. And I got to say, the front end of the Steakhouse, it looks pretty simple. So hopefully it's not too intimidating to folks hopping in for a first time or onboarding even.
True.
We got Mithril Coat saying hello. Good to see you as well, my man. Good buddy West. He says, "Sup, gang. I can't believe they actually dropped the case." Look, did I do a lot of prep for the legal panel I'm going to be on in Vegas? Yes. Is all of that invalidated now? Also, yes. So back to the drawing board, so to speak. But it's all good news. It's all good news. We got, oh gosh, Orizo Evidigen with the party emojis. I apologize. I cannot do the name, but I do remember streaming with you on here previously, so always a pleasure to see you. And last one, Yada Volt saying, "Great show, guys." Well, believe it or not, the show's just getting started. We probably got a whole nother hour going on here, and we are looking forward to talking to all you guys about the SEC case. So, with that being said, I do actually have a screen share. -0.
Yeah, that was his name, but he had it in reverse.
Oh, that's what it is. Yeah. Jeez. Really throwing me through a loop there. Alrighty, Mrs. Producer. I have from the source himself, Richard Hart win on X. He says, "I appreciate Judge Amon's careful ruling, which has dismissed all of the SEC's claims against me. This type of victory over the SEC is quite rare. PulseChain, PulseX, and Hex are not securities and should be allowed to flourish. Hex has operated flawlessly for over 5 years. Today's decision in favor of a cryptocurrency founder and his projects over the SEC brings welcome relief and opportunity to all cryptocurrencies. Thank you, President Trump, for supporting cryptocurrency." Got a little tag. This is a link to the actual document if you want to read it yourself. And down below, a little clip. "Case dismissed. Thank you, Judge Amon." Here from the introductory, we have the plaintiff, SEC, brought this action against defendant Richard Schuler, a.k.a. Richard Hart, Hex, PulseChain, and PulseX. The SEC alleged that Hart violated the Securities Act of 1933 and the Securities Exchange Act of 1934 by promoting, offering, and selling unregistered crypto asset securities and defrauding investors by misappropriating funds. Pursuant to Rules 12b-2 and 12b-6 of the Federal Rules of Civil Procedure, Hart moves to dismiss all claims, both for lack of personal jurisdiction and for failure to state a claim. For the reasons stated below, the motion to dismiss is granted.
Beautiful.
And then, oh, absolutely. And by the way, we do have a tweet here from our good friend Nuclear Herbs, the leading legal expert when it comes to all things PulseChain, bit of a mentor and a friend of myself as well, so always happy to shout this guy out. But he's saying, as we just discussed on stream with Cabana Crypto and Big Kurkowski, we can't let anyone lose sight of the fact that Richard Hartwin beat the SEC in court. The SEC did not voluntarily choose to drop the case because of new policies or leadership. They did not voluntarily stop the investigation. They took their best shot in court and lost. Don't let anyone from any corner of the crypto world try to frame it any differently. Richard won. He beat the SEC in court. There you go, folks. I know the man's been talking about glory for a while now. This seems like some glory.
That is glory, right? The only thing that you could ask more on that would be with prejudice, right? Because then they could never come back at him again. But having this set as precedent makes that pretty tough anyway.
Oh, for sure. For the folks at home, dismissing a case with prejudice, as Triple just said, is that it pretty much makes it marked as final. Like, you can't bring the charges up again. It can't be relitigated. The decision is final. Unfortunately, we did not get that exact verbiage here. So what is going to happen is the SEC now has 20 days from today to pretty much declare that they want to amend the original complaint. But to be honest, personal jurisdiction is a very hard thing to amend, because unless you have any new sort of evidence or things to submit, it's hard to get in there, because that's pretty final right there. And for all the folks that caught the show we did earlier, we read through the entire document. A lot of it is based on that jurisdiction, and the judge even went further to talk about how the domestic offering of a security does not apply, because they failed to show how there was a domestic offering, let alone the jurisdiction even. And then additionally, on top of that, the fraud case also relies heavily on jurisdiction as well. But for all the folks that were there in New York City for the oral arguments, you will remember the famous line where the judge asked, so how is it fraud to do exactly what you said you were going to do?
One of the great lines. There was a lot of good lines at that whole court case. I'm not going to lie.
Oh, for sure. And shout out to everybody that made it to that case. That was, I got to say, that if you're ever going to attend one legal proceeding, voluntarily, of course, I mean, traffic court excluded, we've all been there once or twice, speeding, that lead foot, it just gets down there on that pedal. If there was ever a case to attend, it was that one in New York City. The venue was beautiful, giant glass skyscraper in Brooklyn. We got up to the 10th floor. There's a giant floor-to-ceiling glass window overlooking the Brooklyn Bridge and a huge American flag blowing, and then the nice, beautiful Manhattan skyline right behind it. And then the venue itself also, it looked like straight out of a TV show. Giant, beautiful wood hall. We packed the back of the courthouse. We even had to go to an overflow room. There were so many people that attended to it. It was fantastic. So absolutely, hats off to all you guys out there that attended. We had a great time, and we had a good time partying as well. I think we even shut down a bar the night before and converted the bartenders to be Hexicans as well.
Beautiful.
It was a great time.
What we do. Alrighty, tell you what, Mrs. Producer, I believe we have some folks that are just itching to get in here and take a victory lap with all of us. So if you don't mind, let's get some folks on the show. Alrighty, we got Arch Mikey. How you doing, buddy?
Oh, I live well. I'm grateful for good things. I'm going to be silent for a minute while I join you. It's great to join. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Happy to have you. So, gentlemen, thoughts on where do we go from here? Like what now? This is over a year and a half in the making, and I'll be honest, it kind of feels like it's the end of school, and I'm just looking down at like my desk, and I'm like, what do I do now? What's next?
It kind of gives builders a second wind.
Okay.
So from my point of view, having launched all this stuff, DApp after DApp after DApp, and just getting hammered on Twitter and hammered all over the place, right? And SEC that and SEC this, and having faith that this process is gonna not move forward, right? Having that faith restored is awesome, right? And we have 2 additional things that we're going to be bringing out, and the second wind is the energy that it gives you to know that you're not just throwing money out a window, right? It is awesome.
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Hello. One of the big things, oh, yeah, it's messing up over here. One of the big things that I love about the fact that, and I was kind of looking forward to with the case being dismissed, is now that it's said to the broader crypto world, hey, we're not a scam. Hey, we're not going to get fined, right? The SEC is incorrect because we actually won this case. All right. Now that that is out there, nobody can come here anymore and say, yes, you are wrong. You're terrible. We can't have you on, you're a risk. And what that's going to do is that's going to allow these centralized exchanges to actually want to bring Pulse Hex onto their exchanges, right? I think that is a really important aspect that everyone needs to be looking at, is because so far that's kind of been the issue, right? Especially when the SEC says, hey, we're gonna sue you because fraud. Then what happens? I think it was MEXC that just drops us immediately, right? Bam.
Right.
Okay. Well, now we've proven ourselves. Now that we've proven ourselves, are you going to let us on, huh? Can we play with the big boys too?
Do they have to? Does Crypto Coffee and his crew need to pony up those dollars again, right? Because he did a lot of work to get on MEXC. He did a ton of work.
He really did, and that was really bothersome. Like the fact that they took, I think it was like $130,000 worth, and just like, no, we don't want you anymore. It's like, hey, can we get a refund then? Because you're just kind of kicking us off here, And this goes right back to not your keys, not your crypto. It's the reason why you technically want to stay in DeFi. You want to stay on chain rather than over there on an exchange, centralized exchange, because the same way they did there, right? We pay to get our coins onto the centralized exchange, and then they just kick us off and then keep the money. What? Are you kidding me? That's actually that right there is fraud, if anything else. Yeah. I'd say that's a scam. But whatever, I guess.
It's not unlike landlords in LA making more money on applicant fees than renting the place, right? It's very similar to that. It's ridiculous.
True. Alrighty, Mikey, if you're ready, let's get you in the conversation here, bud. How you feeling? What do you think about all the news today?
I'm grateful. I kind of stay on the outlier territory. So I do a lot of things. It's good to see all us come together with a good attitude. That's one thing. Who remembers when Hex became a stock? Like there be like a territory for us to bring our fathers in, because they were into things that were bigger than just our crypto or whatever. Now that we got a working network and stuff going on, but like I said, people were really trying to come to things with a grandfathered position, and that's what I'm saying. They needed what's called a centralized or whatever that, mechanism that came with big money. So that already happened. I think that was more than a year ago, but, so that's what I'm saying. It's nice to see the trickle down and some of the, what's called doubt, like come through, because that's what I'm saying. There are seasoned folks, almost veteran folks in our crypto community that start to grow that doubt, in the stuff, because they haven't been through enough cycles where they've really seen it. And so that doubt does come in. So, and then there's the second and third stages where you get into bad tendencies, taking it for granted or whatnot, and spending your ins before are really, extra zeros start to show up. Because that's what I'm saying. Those that hodl onto their bags that are on the really, on the right side of things and understand how things work, you're really waiting for that time where, let's just say a penny for Pulse, and that's humble by a lot.
Yeah.
1 cent Pulse that'd be a hell of a pump. Be a hell of a feeling too when we get there.
1 cent Pulse, and I would be out hanging out with RG3 wherever he is.
Oh, you're moving to Portugal too on that, huh?
I would be gallivanting. I don't know if I'd be moving there, but I'd be visiting for sure.
Oh, absolutely.
There's something to be said about buying into a certain community, and then you wait several years for anything to happen with this community, kind of like with the color that I have over here, right? Now, here's the thing that you always need to look at, though. How vibrant is that community? You're right. Look at us right here, right now. We are all here together. We're having a good time. We're about to next week. We're about to go out to Vegas. We're gonna have an even better time, I would say. So
100%.
exactly. Here's what we need to do, okay? Guys, if you start feeling like you're losing hope, you're starting to doubt if you made the right choice or anything, here's the thing. Literally, just step away from the sell button, as Sami likes to say, and just walk out the door, all right? You need to believe. You need to believe that someone who's working so extremely hard is like Richard Hart, because he really truly is. A lot of what he says is all about, hey, I'm trying to help people. That means he's trying. And if he's trying, then you can try as well, right? Try and help everyone else around you. And then you come back and it's like, hey, wait, how come all this green is happening all of a sudden? I mean, yeah, it took 3 years, but that's 3 years of believing, 3 years of building just different things, right? I mean, look at what Triplet Dad, look what you're doing, right? Helping build out along with Hextrovert over here. It's building on PulseChain. And there's a lot of work to be done. It's not necessarily get in here, wait 6 months, pump to the moon, then get out. That's really truly is not what we're trying to do here on this particular community, on this L1, right? We're trying to create more than that, right? And it's supposed to go further down to the future. Because if you're just looking at even like, say, 1 year, right? 12 months, perhaps what we actually want to be building for is 10 to 15 years, 555, baby, right? So, I mean, truly, you guys, it's just about believing, right? It's about believing in the community. It's about believing in the assets. It's about believing in the projects. It's about believing in the city that is PulseChain. You know what, guys? I'm here for it all the way. And let's enjoy this a little bit more for a while. What do you say, eh?
Absolutely. What is it? We talk about how green candles are the best marketing. And if anything, right now we are primed for green candles, whether it's the incentive token rewards on the farming going down as a way to incentivize people to start pulling some liquidity. Because remember, price moves not based on market cap, but based on liquidity available. That's really makes those differences. So on top of that, it's just like everything is going right. I think we might have a little bit of disbelief just because we've been treated pretty poorly. Well, this token has. The community's stayed pretty strong, I gotta say. But I don't know if we're going to have like PTSD from the Gary Gensler SEC days and all the FUD that's going on over there. Because it's like all the Hexicans that we onboard now, they don't have any of that baggage with them. And they're going to be looking at us and it's like, why are you guys like just traumatized over what that one guy at the SEC did? It's like, you don't even know.
Yeah. What do you guys think about PulseX flipping Pulse for a brief period in time today? That happened.
Man. I'm going to tell you what. PulseX is my favorite token. Why? Because I can't get over that buy and burn. The whole buy and burn, when I first started learning about this, it just blew my mind because it's a forever up token. Now, a lot of people have issues with the idea of a forever up token because when you say forever up, it's like, oh, it spikes up like this and then it just stays there. Well, no, if it spikes up like that, it just means a lot of people bought in, right? And the liquidity pumped up real quick. However, when you continually have like a forever buyer buying up your token and sending it to someplace it'll never sell, what you're doing is you have this floor that's not a floor, isn't like this, it's actually like this, and so now it's forever going up, right? It's slowly going up, but it is still going up because you always have this buyer. So whenever you look at the buy and burn over on Go Pulse or whatever, and you're looking at it going, wow, there's $4.1 million worth of PulseX that has been bought by the buy and burn. That is a whale that has bought $4 million worth of PulseX that will never sell. Okay. You need to think about that for a second because that's actually vital and that's huge. Right. And I do believe the Pump.Tires has kind of created the same sort of deal now with Pulse. And so, yes, this will forever be going up. However, that doesn't mean like this and then stays up. Right. You can have the spikes and all that, but you got to think about the floor. All right. Is pointed upwards. It will forever be this color right here. Yes, I did exit it that way.
The PulseX is up 80%. Pulse is up 44%. Hex up freaking 71%. It's an unbelievable day. eHex is up more than regular Hex. Pulse Hex 85%. It's a pretty good day. Yeah.
It's a very good day. It's the crazy thing though is that PulseX actually just about hit parity with Pulse. It hit that 1-to-1. For all the folks that remember back when PulseChain launched, it was sitting around that like 3.75 to 4-to-1 ratio, and now we're pretty much at 1-to-1. It's kind of a crazy thing to watch.
For about 5 minutes today, there was a flipping.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah, that's actually funny because I was late to the community chat in our DEGEN Roundtable community, right? I was a little bit late, and I saw, we might hit parity, and I immediately went over to go swap a bunch of Pulse to Pulse X, and I hit just to check, right? I was like 1 Pulse, and it was 1 point, I think it was 0.16 Pulse
Still
X.
Counts.
Yeah.
Yeah, it still counts, but I'm like, no, I can't do it now.
I saw it at 1.2 pulse per Pulse X. When I looked at it, it was actually that much flipping.
Dang.
Yeah.
It was brief, but for people who believed in, there's probably a lot of people that were hoping it would get close or parity, and they probably, what I would say, rebalanced their portfolio. Maybe they were really heavy one way. Well, that's what they would have been thinking for a long time. But now seeing what happened today and what's been happening on a trend with Pulse X compared to Pulse, they would have some hard thinking to do now, because they're like, well, what if it just continues to slowly outperform Pulse? So now they're probably battling in their brain whether to balance their portfolio or whether just to keep most of their stack in Pulse X.
Okay, so you actually bring up a good point there, right? It's like now you have to think about, so is Pulse X forever going to do that? And like I said, the buy and burn does make a good case that would happen. However, if the meme cycle is going to continue and it's a meme super cycle, then and a lot of people start coming over here to PulseChain, people aren't necessarily just going to be buying up Hex and that's it. No, you're going to get a lot of Solana type people, a lot of Jeets who are just going to go over to pump.tires and they're going to start doing the same sort of deal. We might even get some of the cabal that is over there on Solana to come over here and start doing the same sort of deal. If that happens, then the buy and burn for PulseChain is actually going to go absolutely wild. And I think that will always be a thing that is there. So is it as strong as the PulseX buy and burn? Probably not. But there's also a lot of protocols I've been hearing that want to start burning Pulse as well. So you really got, it maybe not. I'm not 100% sure. The one thing that we can guarantee is that the L1 Pulse chain is going to have more liquidity and it will be heavier. So that's another thing to think about. Personally, like I said, Pulse X is my favorite. So I will forever be heavier in Pulse X. But I would suggest probably having at least, all of them.
Today,
the other
$98.6 million.
The other interesting thing with pump tires is, even though it creates volume, which, as you rightly pointed out, is going to burn a lot of pulse, when those meme tokens gain traction and it gets bonded, that liquidity is locked forever.
Very true. I do have some screen shares for everyone just to give some context to what's going on here. So, Mrs. Producer, if you do not mind. Everyone's favorite website, gopulse.com. We're looking at it here. Yep. PulseChain sitting about 49% of sack rate. Pulse X is about 48% of sack rate. Yeah, the numbers on the 24-hour look fantastic. Up 45%, 81%, 81%, 72%. And over on pump.tires, up almost 43% over 24 hours. So granted, it still got a little way to go before we get back over some of these levels that might be a little bit of resistance, but overall, ecosystem's looking great. And I didn't realize this until I just looked at it. But over on Pulse X, the farms, the inflation rate has actually decreased even further. Last time I checked this, it was sitting at about a 0.045 incentive token per second. We're all the way down to 0.03. So this rate continues to keep going down.
Ink rewards are not friendly right now.
No, they are not. And you can definitely see that by the APRs down here. The Hex Pulse, incentive Pulse, and go for it.
Inconsistent with certain of the stable coins. Like sometimes I get like 500 or 300% like APY or cases, and it'll give me like a day or two on certain I don't know. That's what I'm saying. It's been somewhat inconsistent, but I definitely see the decreases, but there's certain like specific ones that turn out, and it says 16% right there, but on different browsers or different platforms, it's showing like 506% like APY or APR, excuse me.
Interesting. Yeah, I have the V1 farms pulled up right now, so that's what I'm looking at.
That might be just UI glitches, I guess. It's
be.
very possible.
It could be one front end is measuring APY and another one is measuring APR.
That sounds about right. I will say though, overall though, we are looking at green candles all around. Icosa 82%, Hedron 74%.
Go to the bubbles. Go to the bubbles.
Oh gosh, what's the website for crypto?
Oh no. Go up to coins. So on GoPulse, go to coins.
Thank you.
And then bubbles right there. Whack. Yeah.
That is a lot of green, my friends.
That is beautiful.
That is awesome.
Bringing up those bubbles just reminds me of something I saw on Twitter. I don't know if you guys followed the PulseChain Twitter account. They've got some videos where they've created their own bubbles as well that are poppable. But more importantly, they shared a video of their new version of a block scanner, which says they've solved all the syncing issues. You guys seen that?
I have not. Well, what's the address for it?
The Twitter account, I don't know what the ad is. It's called Pulse Coins. And there is a video on there showing their scanner and even having a dig at Etherscan. So they're backing themselves pretty heavily. And the video does look good. There's light mode, dark mode, lots of metrics and facilities. But more importantly, they say the data is synced. So, as a builder, and with our devs, one thing we've learned through this whole process is the scanner is a vital part of building out stuff and being able to get the data you need easily. And that has been a challenge with the Block Scout version of what we have right now. So I'm pretty excited to see this scanner go live and have a play with it.
Look at that note token up. I mean, Solid X up quite a bit too. Randy and Tiago, that's pretty awesome. Firewhale.
Yeah, they're up the mythical 69%.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Couldn't have picked
funny when it works out.
One of the fascinating things that I'm seeing with this pump is the liquidity protocols, the liquidity forks are all up, and they're basically up the most. I think it's what is it? Flex, earn, and then loan. Those ones are like really up. Some of the biggest ones.
Really?
Yeah. You got Flex right there, right in the middle by Ink, and that's one of the bigger bubbles.
Yeah.
80%. Yes, sir.
Yeah. And it stood out to me earlier. Like I think it was only an hour ago. I saw Earn up there as the literal biggest. So it's kind of interesting that they're doing that.
What if you see Loan? I'd love to see that one because I thought Loan was down earlier today compared to the rest of everything. I don't see it in the bubbles.
Actually, I'm not really seeing it right now either. Loan, what are you doing?
Loan token.
At the 37.
37% on the day.
That's not. That's awesome.
There you go. Not bad. Not bad.
Yeah, I can't beat that. I might have a bucket of that, so I was just wondering.
You might not be alone there.
So, Hexican Lost in Asia said that the inflation is a countdown for the ink inflation is a countdown. What do you guys think about that?
I'm wondering what it's counting down to.
Yeah, gee, I wonder.
What do you guys think it's counting down to?
Well, what are the possibilities? One thing that I know a lot of folks are talking about is the idea of the SAC wallet that bought all the Ethereum, actually converting it and using that to pump PulseChain. right now, for everyone that's paying attention to the larger crypto markets, you will know that we are massively dumping overall. Like Bitcoin got all the way down to 76,000, I want to say.
Yep.
Ethereum got all the way down to like $2,050, I want to say, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
So as it stands right now, the price is down for sure, but I think that's not the entire story. Because if you've been following a lot of the on-chain data trackers, traditional finance and a lot of the big institutional players are making moves right now. They are buying a good chunk of crypto, and even if you follow Michael Saylor, like I'm pretty sure he's been just buying up as much as he possibly can over the last like 30, 60, 90 days. So it's an interesting case where I think we had a crazy event in anticipation of some of the economic data that's going to be coming out in the United States, especially considering that I believe Trump tariffs are going into place March 4th, which is 4 days from now, effectively. So the question is, what is the rest of the world going to do? Because if you remember, it was like 3 weeks ago at this point, I think, there was the first round of tariffs that went into place. And we covered it live on our show because our show goes live at the same time that the Asian markets open. The Asian markets expected that the tariffs were going to be a massive, massive red candle day. So they sold greatly. But then when the U.S. markets opened up, they said, oh, cool, the dip. Thank you for this buying opportunity. And they immediately bought it right back up. So if you go look at the charts, that day in particular is it's a green candle, but there's a massive downside wick that got recovered entirely. So I think there's a lot of uncertainty when it comes to the macro markets, but at the same time, like people are making moves right now. So I would not be surprised if we have the ability to pump pretty hard out of this. And I was watching Charlie's show, Cultivate Crypto. He was doing a bit of a recap, and I think he was showing the 2017 cycle. And he's like, yeah, we had a 40% correction in the middle of the bull market, and then it kept continuing upside. He's like, that is effectively going all the way from 100K Bitcoin down to like 60K Bitcoin, and then still recovering and going up from there. So is it massively down? I would say yes. But at the same time, the macro markets have the ability to pump pretty good. So overall,
the
though,
volatility of Bitcoin, man.
Yeah, the whole point of me going on that rant, though, was saying that if you are counting on the sacrifice wallet, trying to use the Ethereum bot, which was average buy of like 3,600, I believe.
37, yeah.
37, somewhere around there. My personal opinion here, Uncle Z talking, I don't think we're going to see anything like that happen until Ethereum gets back, until Ethereum makes new all-time highs, which, I don't know. I've been hearing a lot of rumors that March could be a pretty good month. But at the same time, though, we do have a lot of time in the rest of this year. So if you still believe in the 4-year cycle, I think that this year is only going to get crazier and crazier.
Do you think he's looking for a ratio, though? Because let's just say that does go up to 37 and above, right? And PulseChain, though, goes back above SAC price. That ratio may not be as attractive as it once was. Truthfully, his $2,500 ETH a couple days ago, right, was more effectively used on a bunch of zeros and a 3 Pulse. Truthfully, right, it would have that's like a $6,000, $7,500 Ethereum in that case, which is pretty awesome. Do you think that the PulseX, do you think Richard Hart has been waiting to launch some of the additional functionalities within PulseX? Because I believe that there's a V3 coming, PulseX. I can see that. I also believe that the single-sided staking for PulseX, if you want to keep this price and pulse off the market, I think this is a good time to do that, right? And if you played around with testnet and PulseX, there was a party token, which was to signify the third-party token, right? And if you staked PulseX, you would receive party. Well, party was a placeholder for Richard Hart and community tokens that would be given as rewards, not unlike BNB, like Cake on BNB, right? So PulseX was to be used as single-sided staking for third-party rewards, and that party token signified RH tokens and other community tokens that could be given out as third-party rewards. So I kind of feel that the OA supply of most could be a party token. Any of the Richard Hart tokens that he's creating on Pump.Tires could be a third-party token that's given away as PulseX single-sided staking rewards. It's just an idea.
Everything you said there are the possibilities for sure. Whether it's the third-party token talked about, V3 farming on PulseX, the sacrifice, the OA buying up funds as I mentioned, and then additionally, there's also been the fabled Richard Hart wallet. But there's so many different things that could happen in the near future. And additionally, like we mentioned, Pump.Tires is now out in the open. There could be another token that is created by maybe Richard Hart, someone close to Richard Hart, that could get something going there. There's a lot of different moves on the chessboard right now. And trying to figure out what the next one is, I think that's kind of the $1 million question now that we got all the barriers removed. Because where do we go from here? I really don't know.
Yeah. Now that this is the single event that we've all been waiting for, and now we get to start seeing moves being made by people that have been holding back, which is awesome, right?
That's true.
Not just Richard Hart, right? I believe there's some dApps possibly on Ethereum that could use their protocols over here, right? And use their tokens over here. That would be awesome. All of that stuff comes back on the board now that this case has been resolved.
Definitely. You mentioned a keyword earlier that I think really triggers the big brain plays, and that's the ratios. Because for anybody that's really been in crypto for a while, I think you understand ratio trading and you understand how that's really the key to it. If you always keep your ratios set to whatever your crypto is versus the US dollar, that's kind of getting stuck on level 1. But once you start understanding ratio trading, which by the way, I'm pretty sure Richard understands ratio trading and how to be advantageous with it, that's going to be a real key for it.
Yeah, I believe so.
For sure. Michael, I see are you trying to share something on the screen there?
Just keeping it real. So sometimes we get a little, what's that, caught up in the, what do you call it? Like the conversation that you got going on over here. That's what I'm saying. I don't know how to stay in tune all the time because it's just, sometimes we present great things and sometimes it's like we're missing it, even though you're presenting like really great information. So that's what I'm saying. I really wanted to comment a minute ago about part of a Triple Dad's like presentation there. So like I said, I really appreciate good content and what we're doing here. Like I said, we got a good vibe going on. So
thank you,
sure.
Daddy. I appreciate the kind words. It's awesome.
You raise a good point there as well, though, which is the salesmanship of it. Because we can talk about ratio trading. We can talk about all the million different options. So to us that are what I would argue are deeply enfranchised because we're showing up on a crypto stream, we kind of understand these things. But I still personally think that onboarding is definitely going to be the name of the game. More capital is better inside of the ecosystem. And like Triple was saying earlier, now that the obstacles are cleared, hopefully this is a little more incentive to get people that maybe have projects on Ethereum or even other chains to bridge it over and enjoy the faster throughput and the lower gas fees. Got to find a way to sell it to people and get them over here.
Yeah, there's a bunch of protocols here, right, that have the code and the keys ready to roll. Ready to roll. Why wouldn't I fire that up? It'd be badass. I can't wait to see if that actually happens.
True. Michael, what you got?
One of the things that I've been working onboarding for a decade or longer when it comes to crypto, but of course I came in before big payday, so we'll just say that I've been really working towards getting people to utilize crypto for some of the things that was intended, and is that the connectivity of resources. So as far as a peer-to-peer resource. So I had a yard sale, and on my yard sale sign, crypto accepted, Hex, was on the thing. So it was like anything that we can do to start utilizing crypto more mainstream or whatnot and every day. So I have bad habits, and I'll put all my duckies into crypto, but that just means that I got to spend, when I have to spend money, I'll utilize it out of my crypto. And so it's just like that's part of the normal like cycle to me. And the more that you can do that and do it the smart way without paying high fees just for basic and what do you call that, investment into crypto as an asset that you regularly use, that's just part of it. And so the more people that accept that, like I'll, you know, so I don't know, it's more of an everyday thing. And I've been working towards that for so long that, you know, I don't know, to a lot of like our community, it's still some kind of a foreign or alien, you know, concept thing that we're working for here. And so to me, like what's called, this is a network, a digital space that we're growing value on because we're utilizing it. Who knows, you know, how expensive it was to spin Ethereum back in 2018, 2019, less than a penny. You know, all of a sudden we have a little network activity and what's going on, and it has cost $1, $3, $300, over $1,000 to do a single transaction. And it's during, you know, right about big payday time. You know exactly what I'm talking about. People are congesting the network. All of a sudden, how much is Ethereum worth? Why are all of these things like matter is because right now a hex or what's it called, Pulse, what's the value of it? You know, all of a sudden somebody congests the network and people are wasting all this money because it's Pulse to them. It doesn't have the accrued value, but they're utilizing it to do their transactions. And not all of these little things make sense like to the holistic crowd. And so like how you grow a network space and the value of it, why does that matter? And so it's just the fact that you can do a transaction and that is like a digital record. Like, why does that matter? Because now we have a receipt. You can go back to Walmart or return your whatever if you need to, you know, or we can go back and check the record. That's the why it matters in the first point. For a fact, if it wasn't on, I don't want to say if it wasn't on camera, but if it wasn't seen by another person, did what you do like really matter? Did it hold value? Okay, well now that we have some kind of a record that we can hold solid on, reliable, a source of truth, we know this is real and true and holds social like value because I want to say we have some kind of a record on it. And so anyway, so these are all of the blockchains that we're building on, you know. So it's like people, I don't know, still, what's that called? Calling crypto, Bitcoin, whatever, some kind of scam is just like, it makes me scratch my head just a little bit. It's like people talking snap on me for talking books online, selling books online.
I hear you. We definitely have the record now, whether it's the blockchain itself or shoot, we even got a record of the community at this point with all the streams everyone's doing, the Hex conference, the PulseChain conference, the meetups, all that stuff. We got a good record going. By the way, Mrs. Producer, do you mind pulling up Hex Features comment? That was a good one. Want to shout out this guy. He does good work. With Hex postcards, 7,500 letters are being delivered right now. Another 7,500 letters going out in 2 weeks. Next project is 55,000 postcards featuring book The Power of Hex by Falk. Sable,
yeah. Dang, dude. And Hex Futures, I see that your little thumbnail there, the little picture
Anka
is this color. Haha. He knows
stuff all around.
He knows what's
True,
up.
true. Real quick, before we get back to the conversation, we do have a few other chats that are building up. So real quick, Crypto Surfer 369, he's asking, what happened to the pirate? We have an answer from the Ascending Man himself. He says, we did a mutiny. Hey, real quick, look at me. Look at me. We are the pirate now.
Nice.
There you go. We do also have a comment from Joseph Menolfi. He says, as a day one Hexican and as a very respectful person, the SEC can eat my balls. Well said, sir. Well said. And we also got one Hexy mofo hitting us up as well. He says, feels so good to be past the SEC. That it does. Oh, man. And we even got Frank White sneaking in here with a bang bang pulse gang. Good to see you, good sir.
What's up, Mr. White?
A lot of good folks getting ready for Vegas coming up. It's going to be a good time. And real quick, I would not be doing my job if I did not do this. So one screen share, if you don't mind, Mrs. Producer. I know I'm working you overtime here. We got PulseChain 369 conference coming up. 5 days, 17 hours, 36 minutes, folks. Get ready. We're all going to be hanging out in Vegas, and we hope to see you guys there. Tickets are still available for the conference. If you do they have the coupon code up top? I do not see a coupon code. So I will take this opportunity to let you know that if you use code DEGEN, DEGEN at checkout, I believe you can still get 10% off your tickets. And it may help us win a race against the other the other influencers out there. And I might just say we are in first place, so let's help solidify that lead. But outside of that, yeah, March 6th through the 9th.
Are you guys golfing?
Oh, I am golfing, baby. And Mrs. Producer is actually going to be even help work one of the holes, I believe. So yeah, we are helping put the thing on. And yeah, the DEGEN Roundtable, we have a team going. I believe it's myself. I have a guest. We got Will Stevenson, and we got one of our good friends, Centurion 54X. He's going to be joining us as well. I'm not going to say that we're not going to be in the running.
You guys better practice because Crypto Compassion has got ringers, baby.
What do you mean? He's bringing in some extra help?
I don't know. He might be going to the PG. He might be tapping on pro golfers. I don't know.
Hey, wow, whoa. Come on.
but we're running one of the holes too.
Awesome.
With two Fox and the King Queen Pui guys, so it's pretty awesome. That event last time, you guys, it was 118 degrees. Yeah.
Well, thankfully we're doing it in March this time.
Yeah, it was it was so hot.
As long as it's not super humid out, I'll be fine with that. I'll be okay with it as long as you bring an umbrella right for the shade. You'll be good.
Yeah, you'll be good.
And lots of water.
I will say I did actually get a chance for the Crypto Mindset meetup that happened in January. I went out there and I played Desert Pines, where we're having it at. I like the course. It's a little bit on the shorter side. It's kind of tight, the narrow holes, but overall, I think it's a really cool course, and I'm excited to play it again. Last time I was there, I shot an 88. It's a little bit of a Barry Bonds 88. We may have had taken a mulligan here or there, but overall, I'm excited. But yeah, I think what is it, $30,000 in crypto prizes for the pot. I believe tickets are still available for the golf tournament, so sign up for that. Unfortunately, the coupon codes don't work for that one because got to pay the bills, you know. But outside of that, yeah, we got a lot of stuff going on. A lot of good folks. We even got this guy, RG3. We might know him around these parts. Do we?
Yes.
Yeah, a lot of good folks. It's a 2-day conference. There is, let me go down to the schedule. We got the welcome reception on Thursday. I believe you can start picking up badges at 5 p.m. But then conference day 1 starts launching. I want to say it's either 9 a.m. or 10 a.m. Mrs. Producer is going to yell at me for forgetting. Conference day 2, same thing. And then Pulse Masters Golf Tournament on Sunday. We got a full weekend.
Do you know if there are any events after a conference? And how long it goes?
I will speak from experience on this one. There are some events going on for the people that buy the VIP and premium stuff. But outside of that, there will be plenty of people hanging out the entire night. And fun fact, Dollar Cost Crypto and Cultivate Crypto, I like to call them my crypto rich dads. They like to show people a good time while you're out there. So if you want to stay out late, maybe want to get a little toasted as well, hang out with those boys. But outside of that, you can just shoot a message to anybody in the group chat. People are going to be doing all kinds of things. I guarantee you. It's Vegas.
We're just trying to sneak off and go watch the fight and smoke cigars on Saturday.
That'll be a good one. I know RG wants to host a cigar lounge one night. I don't know if that's a VIP event or not, but I know
that's on. I'm doing that. That's on the night before the conference starts.
Oh, sick. Okay, cool. Yeah, it sounds like there might be some super secret stuff for the VIPs going on a little bit earlier. But yeah, we got a lot of folks out there, and we even have Crypto Stylist. She's in the chat. She's one of the speakers. It's going to be great to see her. She says, "See you all there." Hope to see you there as well. Outside of that, though, I do have one thing I want to kick it over to for a bit of a final topic. Believe it or not, we made it to Altcoin Daily. Breaking: the SEC dismisses case against Hex founder Richard Hart. And Hexologist is even getting in there with 426 likes saying, when do I get an invite to come on the show?
I love Hexologist.
He's always goes full ham on altcoin. It cracks me up so much.
He does. I think he also even got Vitalik to start responding to him a little bit a while back. That was fun to see. Oh my gosh.
So hilarious. Susie Q, how are you?
That's right. Susie Q, she says, hi, wonderfuls. The Vegas weather, mid 60 to 70s, XOXO. Yeah, it's going to be great weather while we're out there. I'm looking forward to it for sure.
Yeah.
I was going to say, Nate, are you still covered in snow?
Oh my. Okay. So I will actually be used to it because last week it was -11 covered with snow. Oh. This week, all the snow is gone and it's 55 out here.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what I
where you at? That's what he's asking.
Minnesota.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, it's ridiculous. I'm enjoying it now because I actually work outside, but yeah, it's crazy.
I'm allergic to snow.
We got Hex G Banger in the chat. He says, I heard there were steaks here.
He's a buddy of mine. I've known him as long as I've known Hexi Rica. He used to do all the thumbnails when we first started streaming years and years ago. He's a badass. He's a good dude.
Love to hear it. Love to hear it. All right, gentlemen, any final topic of conversation we would like to hit before we start wrapping it up tonight?
No, just thank goodness for the SEC going by the wayside. That's awesome, right?
Love to hear it. Michael, what you got?
All right, are we allowed to talk about PulseChain protocols? Get more involved. Try things, if you don't know any mining protocols, look into PulseChain mining protocols. So you don't have to actually have hardware in a server or whatever to, participate with passive income and different things, PulseChain. So if you don't know about passivepulse.app and, mine shafts, and I don't know if you have any good recommendations, man, I'm always looking for good things, audit the protocol, look at the things yourself. And that's what I'm saying. If you have experiences that seem to be worth it, share it with the group and tell me, what level of successes that you've had with this specific one. I can only tell you what I know. I've tried half a dozen of one. Not all of them have worked, but I paid for my lessons. I feel like it's worth it for the community to know, hey, dude, this is where I'm making way percentages back in my ink every day, daily dividends than I am compared to over on Pulse X. So ultimately what I did was I took my part of my bag, I came over here, and then as soon as I could, I put it back into the protocol again. And so it's only good measures, good practices. But like I said, you got to be, I would say, willing to take the risk to a degree. But the more you are good with personally auditing the protocols, that's really what it's at. And so the more you can read, I don't want to say solidity, but basically even going back to the basic, what's it called, white paper or things like that, just read what it's about, what it's supposed to do, and after your certain amount of time with it, did it do what it was supposed to? All right, then that you can verify that, but ultimately, I'm looking for how soon can I take out my original investment and still in there that is making me dividends going on forward. And so I like it when we, pass our first checkpoint, but, as soon as we can, I would say, re-up and do it again a little bit bigger. And so now we're more confident with our thing. Now we can start to not necessarily diversify between different kinds of things we're doing, but using this one specifically doing that is really, really successful and putting in all of my 60 different accounts that I've made. You've got your main account that's really kicking for you solid, but how did you squeeze your trickles out? And so it's you just got to do better with minor fractions and the multiplicity and many of them, that way you're not what's called overspending your back pocket. Because ultimately your cryptos will start getting to because you've got the market cap or whatever, the value is so much larger than what the actual liquidity is in the liquidity pools. So when you come in and try to take out so much in the ratio of what the liquidity is actually there, you're going to continue to kill your price. You're not actually going to be able to maintain like your squeeze. But if you can get a moderate, pull out or whatever, it's like you can maintain a whole lot more on the longevity of getting your best buck for your time in the market and what you're doing. But you got to be tactful about how you set up like your I don't know, your different tactics of what you're doing within the crypto, what you're doing. I mean, why are you doing this in the first point? Because if literally you're just like day trading and stuff like that, I mean, there's better ways to go about it. But like I said, if you got kind of a sense for what's going on here and what we're building as a network and a community, like I said, there's ways that we can also do better. I don't know, man. I could go on with this forever, but like I said, I'm working on better positions and shorts, explaining. Like I said, I just want to kind of show the many different things that I've done. Like I said, I know not everything is great. We were kind of talked against that, before PulseChain even came out, but as a developer or a computer like cybersecurity kind of guy, like I have an inkling for like pen testing. So that means I'm using the network a lot. And so I got a lot of experiencing just trying things and seeing what works and the effect of what we're doing. And that's awesome. So I just, like I said, I feel like I got a lot to share, and I want to encourage like being able to do that, to learn lessons, because that's the only way that you really get a feel for it and can feel confident when, like, long story short, we're all trying to cash out. If you don't even know how to cash out, that was the thing about onboarding people. Like I got another buddy over here. He's been trying to, get into it. So he finally did, but he's scared to learn how to actually do an exchange to test to pull some profits out. I was like, man, that whole feeling of confidence that this is possible and feasible, and we actually just did it, that's going to encourage you more to save that money, because you're still doing the same stuff that you was old doing, wasting money on this or that. He don't scratch lottie no more, but it's like I'm just saying, building good habits, and say you're gonna what's that called? Really hone in on that, like saving the money and applying it in these measures that can give so much more fruitly than if you have some confidence in it. So like I said, you just got to get what's called confident in I don't know, KYC. Like that really sucks to put it like that, but be who you are, certify your way to cash out. There's other ways, but if you don't have an ID like a driver's license, and that's why you can't get your whatever thing it is, so you can regularly just buy crypto, and try to get your driver's license or your ID at least, or whatever it is. And so it's just, there's always a hurdle that'll stop you from being able to overcome, the plateau or downhill that we're on. Like I said, if we can find those key things that are stopping us from like overcoming onto the next like plane, like breathe clean air, drink pure water, whatever it is that's slowing the flow, it's just like we got to get in tune with the things that matter. And so, and that's,
can I give a shout out to a guy real quick?
Absolutely.
So Brian Magruder, right, the maker of hats. He's got to be very happy today. This is one of his
the hat man, you say.
Yes, this is one of his prototype creations, which is kind of badass. Nobody's got this one, which is pretty awesome. But it's for special events only. I also have another special event, one with chrome pulses and chrome hexes on the side. But very, very cool. Brian Magruder, you're a badass. Thank you for supporting everybody that streams and helps everybody out on all these channels. You're truly awesome, sir, and I'll talk to you soon.
True. Alrighty, Hextrovert, final thoughts for you.
I'm not sure if you can hear me, because
we can hear you.
Awesome, my microphone. I'm back home now, so I'm in front of the computer. Well, a lot's going on. It's just amazing time right now with what's happened, transpired. I sort of feel like H knew this was coming. Just the actions, we've been saying it in some private chats, the actions that he's been doing recently would indicate that he knew this was going to happen. That's my personal opinion. I think we're moving into some exciting times. So hopefully everyone just comes together and we just push this chain, this ecosystem, and everything in it.
I would agree. Based on everything I'm seeing on X right now, it looks like people are really coming together. And even today, there's been so many streams ever since the SEC news came out. And I was watching a bunch of the streams earlier. It felt like everybody was kind of coming out of the woodwork. Some folks we haven't seen in a hot minute. They're like, "Wait, what? SEC news? We're pumping?" It's like, "Yep, welcome back. Happy to have you."
I might go hug somebody from the Tane gang.
There you go. Make bridges, folks. I know.
Yeah.
Shoot, I think people are taking their victory lap, and it's well deserved. But at the same time, if there ever was a time to kind of shake hands with folks and maybe bury a hatchet here and there, it's not a terrible time to do so.
It's a good time, right?
For sure. I guess is my final point. I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't provide a little bit of the legal analysis on the crypto stuff. So what we got today was a massive, massive win. Celebrate the wins when we get them. We got a big one today, and I imagine we're going to have more coming in the future. At the same time, though, understand what we got in the dismissal today and what we didn't get. What we did get was a clarification from the 2nd District Court of New York City, or New York, talking about how, yes, the SEC did not have jurisdiction over Richard Hart. As a result of that, a lot of the stuff did not apply. So we got more clarity on jurisdiction about what the SEC has. What we didn't get today was we unfortunately did not get a retest of the Howey test. So I know Richard Hart's legal team was very, very eager to possibly overturn some older court decisions and precedent regarding cryptocurrency. And if that is not a security, I personally happen to believe they were correct in that it is not a security based on how Hex, PulseChain, and PulseX were released. Additionally, the other thing that we did not get, they did not touch the First Amendment claims at all. So for all of DeFi Nation out there, keep true to the principles. It's good stuff. We didn't get any of the freedom of speech stuff in the case today, but I do personally believe that they're all great fundamentals. Code is speech. You have the ability to interact freely on blockchains. Unfortunately, the argument that blockchains exist nowhere was slightly rejected. And what they did say was that if you can peg someone to a place that does have securities laws, like Finland for Richard Hart, then you can try to not, or you can actually create good laws and escape the what appeared to be the formerly ever-growing grasp of jurisdiction of the SEC. So that's what we got, and we did what we didn't get. So stay true on the security stuff. Crypto is it's something new. It's entirely different, and all the First Amendment claims, I believe they are still very, very, very valid, and we will have our day in court on that. But as far as that, DeFi principles, they're still very, very good. Alrighty, folks, let's go around the horn and tell the folks where they can find you and what you got going on. Let's start it off with Michael.
Twitter, or excuse me, X name at ArtMikey, and send it with some love. So appreciate it.
Love to hear it. Hextrovert, where can they find you? What do you got going on?
It's just Hextrovert on Twitter, or CryptoTie, MCR, Magic Card Ride 369. All of our profile has the LinkedIn, which links to all of our dApps, our Git book, our Telegram. So we're pretty easy to find. TD's always doing a lot of streams. I'm not so much. I have a full-time job, single dad, kids, dApps, dev work. So I want to get back to it now that we've finished most things. Maybe I'll have some time. People going to the conference in Vegas. Trip is going to be a guest speaker there. And I believe if the planets align, we also have one of our devs doing a talk there that may show what I was talking about earlier, the new service that we're bringing to PulseChain, the dependencies for other builders to utilize. So if you get into Vegas, go check out the conference.
Love to hear it. All right, Triplet, where can the folks find you and what you got going on?
Same thing as Hextrovert, right? I'll see everybody in Vegas, so please come by, check me out. I've got some stickers and maybe a couple hats here and there, so that'll be cool. But Triplet Dad 007 on Twitter, and go to go to 0x Steakhouse.io and you'll get to all of our TG rooms. So that's usually where I'm at. So any questions regarding our dApps functionality? How do I do this? Want to start a stake? I just started a stake. Want to pump it? Put it in there. I'll help you out.
Love to hear it. All right, the Ascending Man. Where can the folks find you, and what do you got going on?
Well, you can find me on X at the Ascending Man 369, but you can also find my own personal brand YouTube channel, which is just simply type in the Ascending Man. I'll be the first one that pops up. It's kind of crazy because I've got 2 videos now. One I made about 2 weeks ago that I noticed a little something about Hex kind of pumped like this. It sort of had 3 pumps and dumps, and then all of a sudden it just took off. And it's really interesting that exactly right where we're at right now, I said, hey, it looks like it's that final time for us to start taking off. And now all of a sudden this happens. And it's kind of blowing my own mind because I'm over here like, oh, wait, did I actually stumble onto something here? Because usually over on my channel, it's ideas that I've got, shorter form content, and I want to get it out to you guys. But yes, that I actually just made an X post on that. So go ahead, go look up my X post right there. And yeah, ascend every day, man. Take us out, Z.
Will do. But before I do, we got 2 chats that I want to hit before we get out of here. Maybe, yeah, 2. We got Cody Polly 68 saying, let's freaking go. That's right. The rocket ship emojis are in. We are going to the moon. Moon is confirmed. And then last but not least, we got a good friend of ours. We got Centurion 54X, or as I like to call him, 54 Cent. He's saying, what's up, DEGENs? Catching the replay. Glad to hear it. Always great to see you, sir. Outside of that, yeah, folks, you can find me over on X at ZenithDI. As RH Max coined it, it stands for Distinguished Investor, as at least what he likes to say. But yeah, you can find me over there. You can catch me and Nate over on the DEGEN Roundtable. That is our YouTube channel, and we are always thankful for RG3 and the rest of the Discourse Syndicate gang for letting us take the keys to the car and joyride it while he's gone. But outside of that, we have our Sunday show coming up at 8 p.m. Eastern time. We're going to be talking everything about the SEC and everything else going on with that. There were a bunch of investigations dropped by the SEC, but most notably, Richard Hart beat the SEC in court today. Never forget. Outside of that, I think that is all we got. So, Mrs. Producer, please get that trigger finger ready. I want to say thank you guys so much for tuning in. As you can guess, there probably will not be an FN Hangout next week because we're all going to be in Vegas. And if you cannot make it to Vegas, there is the stream available for the PulseChain Tour conference, so you can check it out live there. And again, as always, get your tickets over at pulsechaintour.com. Use code DEGEN at checkout, DEGEN. That should get you an extra 10% off. So that we look forward to seeing you guys there. Thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight. And until we see you guys next time, preferably in Vegas, I hope that everyone out there continues to DEGEN responsibly.
Thanks, yo. Peace.